Former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou has settled a long-standing debate and claimed MMA fighters hit harder than boxers. Over the past few decades, there have been several debates as to who hits harder. However, Ngannou, who has experienced top-level fights in both sports, has put to bed any doubts regarding MMA fighters and their punching power. The Cameroonian made his mixed martial arts debut in 2013 and was signed to the UFC just 2 years later. The Predator quickly made a name for himself in the sport due to his sensational knockout power. In 2021, after 6 years in the organization, Ngannou finally got his hands on a UFC title after defeating MMA legend Stipe Miocic via a brutal knockout in the second round. He would go on to successfully defend the title once, beating Cyril Gane at UFC 270 in 2022 before leaving the UFC to sign for PFL. That said, his debut for the promotion was delayed after he decided to compete in boxing. The Predator first went toe-to-toe with Tyson Fury last year, losing a razor-thin split decision. He returned to the ring earlier this year, but suffered a devastating knockout defeat by Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia. After fighting some of the biggest names in combat sports, Ngannou insists that MMA stars hit harder than boxers. In an interview with Piers Morgan, he said, "I would say MMA fighters. It depends on the punch, it depends on how. But remember, MMA fight is like 4-ounce glove. Sometimes you get hit, not by the gloves, but by the knuckles. So, the sensation is different even if the punch isn't very hard. The sensation is very different because it's like bone to bone." Following the 2 defeats in the ring, the Cameroonian will make his return to MMA and will take on the reigning PFL heavyweight champion, Renan Ferreira, in Riyadh on October 19. The event will mark the promotion's 5th visit to Riyadh and first since PFL MENA 3 earlier this summer. At 6'8", Ngannou's opponent is widely regarded as the most feared heavyweight in the organization. In the same interview, the 38-year-old shared his experience leading up to the clash with Joshua and revealed that a multitude of problems led to him being knocked out by the British heavyweight. "That fight wasn't a good fight," he said. "The whole experience wasn't good. A lot of things were off on that fight. It might just have been a bad day at the office. But a lot of things leading up to that fight wasn't right. The whole thing was not good. Then I get to the fight. I was off. My timing and everything was off. And I was like, why are you off of timing? Nothing went well. The first punch, that wasn't even hard, that put me down, that's when I realized it wasn't okay because that's not a punch that would get me down. Like, even in the Tyson Fury fight, Tyson hit me with the elbow, and I didn't even realize I got hit by the elbow. Then I get it in the next fight, the punch that hit my hand first, that wasn't so good. I don't want to make excuses. I lost that fight period, and then I decide to move on. Next time, I will prepare better, I will try to fix some things that I wasn't paying attention at, next time I should be prepared better." After 2 straight defeats in boxing, the heavyweight star has no plans to walk away from the sport just yet. Ngannou dismissed the suggestion of returning permanently to MMA. Speaking to reporters after the Joshua defeat, he said, "You can be sure I'm not done here. It wasn't my day. He was way better than me today. It sucks, but it's the game. We all know that."